Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Winning Streak. I'm your host, Bryson, and today we got two guests with us. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
We got Up the Score Show. We two people from Up the Score Show. I'm Marvin and Elijah. Introduce yourself.
I'm Elijah. I'll be on Up the Score, also known as Spiral in the Streets, in the East Streets. So, tap in.
Yeah. Y'all like us. Bryson be on our episodes too. Up the Score Show,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, let's get this pod going.
So, yeah, getting straight into it, we got just a few NBA, NFL topics, starting off with potentially Harden to the Heat. I've just been hearing a lot of rumors about it lately. I don't really know how I feel about it. I kind of like it, but it's also kind of risky, in my opinion. But I'm thinking you pair up. The main thing I'm thinking is you pair up someone who can pass the ball really well with Bam Adebayo. Adebayo could turn into a even bigger offensive presence, and then he just continues to do his defensive presence. So I think it could work, honestly.
I mean, it's the Miami Heat, so like if they wanted to do it, of course it would work. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's something that would happen because when Harden was in his prime, they were the team that Harden wanted to go to. It was the Heat and 76ers, and Riley just said he's totally uninterested in him because of the ethical parts of James Harden. During the playoffs, Miami is very serious, and during the
yeah,
playoffs last year, James Harden was going to strip clubs in the middle of a series. And then like he's gonna be in Miami. You know how easy it'll be to access like clubs like that for him. And another
that's
thing
true.
is for most of their players, Kyle Lowry's the only player I've seen them really take an exception on for some reason. They're very strict with the body fat, and like Harden, that's another thing that he won't be able to like. He just it's not because of him as a player. It's not because of James Harden the player. It's all the other stuff. James Harden is
Yeah,
still a great player,
no, yeah,
but
I
I
agree.
just think
That's
Miami is
fair. I
desperate
understand
if they go
that
for him. I'm dead serious too.
They gotta keep Kyle Lowry thick, bro.
I don't understand how Kyle Lowry is like the only player that gets that exception. Like everyone else, they so strict with their body fat percentages and all that.
It's
Yeah.
genetic for Kyle Lowry, bro. You can't help it.
I feel like it's genetic for James Harden too. But if the Heat were to trade for James Harden, what would the package have to be?
I was just about to bring that up, honestly.
Takes and
I
Jovic.
mean, I think you throw Hero in there.
No.
No, you don't throw
No.
Hero. Because James
I
Harden
feel
can
like,
easily run the one. So you have Hero, Harden, Jimmy, whoever
yeah.
the fuck is your power forward at any given point in time. Bam.
I'm looking at the depth chart. They got Kyle Lowry at 1, Hero at 2, Josh Richardson at 3, and then Butler at the 4.
Yeah, no, that's nasty.
I don't know about Butler at the 4. But, I mean, you could throw Kyle Lowry in there even then. I mean, it doesn't – for some reason, it seems like they don't really want to get rid of him, which is weird. But, like,
They
at the
do
same
want to get
time,
rid of
In the
him.
playoffs, I
yeah,
feel
he
like you
didn't
don't
play
want to
very
get rid of
good.
the player if you're sending him out on trade like negotiation missions. That's not a player
Yeah,
you seem like you want to be getting rid of anytime soon.
yeah. But, I mean, they definitely need some more depth as well because I feel like they lost a lot more than they gained over the offseason just kind of waiting and expecting Dame, and it kind of messed them up, in my opinion.
What do you think
Like,
they lost?
they lost 2 key players in the playoffs, not like throughout the season, but in the playoffs, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus they had a big impact for sure, I would say. They lost them, and they got, I'm pretty sure, like, nothing new over the whole offseason. Like, maybe a couple bench players, but I don't really recall them getting much, like, just because they're waiting for Dame.
I would disagree with that. If you think Max Strus is a loss, you're going to see what he does on Cavaliers, and you'll be disappointed. And another thing is, Gabe Vincent, he was a loss. I'll agree on that. But
Yeah,
they got Josh Richardson, who will
they
play the
did get
exact
Josh.
same role as Max Strus, but better. And
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Jovic, I'm not really too high on him. I'll be kind of trolling on our podcast when I bring him up.
In the
But
group chat.
yeah. This year he's gonna actually get playing time. Last year was a redshirt year. He was gaining muscle mass, because like I was saying, there's a certain percentage of body, whatever. I don't know how it goes, but you have to be a certain size to play. And Jovic was very skinny. And now if you see him from his rookie to sophomore year, he gained a lot of muscle mass. and then Jamie Vasquez, who he is what is it? A player that you draft and he's ready immediately. Like he doesn't have the
Yeah.
highest ceiling, but like he's ready day one. Like he's just there for depth. So
Ready to make an
I would
impact.
say that their offseason wasn't the greatest, but they got slightly better. The problem is that the Eastern Conference got way better as they got slightly better.
Yeah,
That's what the issue is. They didn't
that
get
is
worse
true.
though.
I feel like what y'all didn't lose in terms of players, y'all lost in terms of like opportunity. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like,
Yes.
because there was so many like free agents available, players available, like things going around and happening.
Yeah,
3-team trades that could have happened, but like y'all were just so stuck on Dame and like we can't build this team until we know what it looks like with Dame and our post the Dame trade that y'all lost out on a lot of players that would have made your team better
yeah,
without Dame.
I think it came to them just feeling comfortable with the roster and only caring to trade the pieces if it was for Dame. But that would be the only way they care to move on from any of the players because we're satisfied with our team. I mean, we just made the finals. I know it was an ugly
yeah,
run if you want to say that, but it was an ugly run for us too. You said we lost two key pieces in the playoffs. We're also
mhm,
gaining a key piece with Tyler Hero. We're also gaining a key
yeah,
piece with Josh Richardson. So I feel like it kind of evens out and it just comes down to eternal development with Nikola Jovic and Jamie, which is asking a lot from them. I
yeah,
agree. But hey, that's what they're going with. They rather that than trade for Bradley Beal, which you're gonna have to lose a lot of pieces. And Bradley Beal is like an
mm,
awkward fit. Cause like I don't want Hero and Bill on the same team. It's like
yeah.
I'm not running Bill at point like Phoenix is personally. I ain't doing that.
I mean, he looks decent. Like so far, he's played a point guard position in the last game he played that we saw against the Pistons the other day. When the
Yeah,
trio was playing together, they all did their thing. They actually looked like they flow good together, in my opinion. And Beal had, I want to say it was like 10, 5, and 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
Like something around there.
that team is gonna look good all regular season. I could
Yeah,
care less.
because it
it,
comes down to playoffs. But like
Absolutely.
what you were saying though, like about Hero, a lot. I was seeing a lot of people like online and stuff saying that Hero coming back would have messed up the playoff run. Do you disagree with that?
yeah, of course I disagree with that. What?
Yeah,
I
he's a
figured.
Heat fan.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it can go either way. You know,
yeah,
you can come in, be a 25-point per game playoff performer for all we know. He can come in, average 15, and ruin the entire team's chemistry and momentum. You never know, especially
yeah,
with a player coming off injury.
I know one thing he could do. He could come in and take Max Struess off the court. That's one thing I know. Because Max Struess is not all that, man. Like I'm being honest.
yeah,
He shot poorly from the field in the playoffs. He at the end of the games, he always felt the necessity to take the big shots for some reason. Sometimes it'll go in and he looked like a hero, but when you are
yeah,
Max Struess and you're taking the most important shots, it looks really really bad. Because like sometimes he would be contested just pulling them. Like
yeah.
I'm not
Got in his
too
head.
upset with losing Max Struess to be honest, but Gabe Vincent, that one hurt. That was the opportunity we lost by waiting on Dame. We sacrificed Gabe Vincent by waiting on Dame because we could have easily signed him back. He signed
Mhm.
to it for a cheap contract to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
he wanted to
especially losing
stay.
him to a team like the Lakers, like
You want to
that's a
stay,
pretty
man?
big addition for a upcoming team like that. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say upcoming like that, but like coming back from the 2020 finals, like they had a couple off years. I feel like this year the Lakers could easily make a run. They're a very deep team right now, and it's going to come down to injuries, in my opinion.
And that's what it always comes down to in the NBA because like you could have your
Yeah,
favorites like for both conferences. We know that the Bucks and the Celtics are the favorites in the East, and what the Nuggets and the Lakers are the favorites in the West. But
Yeah,
injuries happen every year. Every year we go back and be like, "Oh, this was a fluky run because this top three player got hurt." It happens every.
yeah.
Someone gets
There's
hurt.
always someone to blame.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so what you're saying is the Heat are preying on injuries,
What I'm saying is, no, they're not preying on it. They're playing as competitive as they can, and
hoping someone
other
gets injured.
not even that. The Celtics, we don't need anyone to get injured. I'll say that. We could beat the Celtics healthy.
I'll say this.
I agree
If
with that.
KP is playing like how KP was playing in the preseason, y'all not beating the Celtics healthy.
Hey,
I'll say that right now.
That boy was balling. He got to chill out. He got to chill out. I ain't gonna lie. He got to chill.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't see KP being like that consistent all year. Oh, damn, my focus.
Let's go back to what would a Harden deal be like? Because I think, hey, me personally, hey, Duncan Robinson 2 first, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it, bro. Y'all don't want to take it, then leave it. Maybe I'll add Jovic. That would be the way I budge. I add Jovic.
I feel like
that'd be fair. No, you good.
I feel like the only way the Sixers do a deal, because it looks like they're trying to rebuild, I think they're going to try to do what the Blazers did and in some way, shape, or form get a younger guy, even if it's a guy that may not be the best, or may not be proven to be the guy with like the most potential in the world. I think just getting the young players and saying that you have young pieces to work around is the goal. But
yeah,
I don't think Duncan is that.
Yeah, because like you could just if you're a bad team and you get young players like the Blazers are doing, you could just say like look at the future instead of now. But I mean, obviously it's kind of iffy because you never know how people are actually going to turn out. But like the Blazers right now definitely look like they got it going, and I feel like the Sixers building around Embiid. Do y'all think they should end up trading Embiid if they don't do anything again this season? Like say they make it to the season, their first round exits.
I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah.
I don't think Embiid's gonna last past the trade deadline if Harden goes.
Really?
I was gonna say that. I'm getting deja vu from the Brooklyn Nets. Y'all brought up the Blazers package. I'm looking more of Harden, similar to the Kyrie package, where it was just
young players.
It was like Reggie Bullock and something else and 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
It was Reggie Bullock and Finney Smith. Reggie Bullock's Finney Smith 2 first. I'm looking at a Harden deal more like that. You got a player who really doesn't want to be on that team for whatever reason, is still a great player, and as the team trading them, you're just like, hey, if we could get 2 first-round picks and trade the big guy, which was Durant and Embiid, for a haul, we cool with it. So like they trade Harden for 2 first-rounders. And then 2 unprotected first-rounders. Not no swaps, none of that. 2 unprotected first-rounders. And then you trade Embiid for the haul. Like that's what I'm looking at it as.
I think the Nets Mavs situation is a little different, just in the fact that the Nets were like super adamant on competing to the point where they were like, we're not trading Mikal, not trading Cam, nobody's leaving this team.
Sense.
Yeah, they wanted to compete immediately after the Kevin Durant trade. So I think getting a guy like DFS makes sense for them. But getting a guy like Duncan after losing Embiid, it just doesn't. I don't think the Sixers are going to try to compete. I guess I could say that.
Yeah,
they don't have their first rounders after this year though. They have their first rounder in 2024. They don't in 2025. They do in 26. They don't in 27. So it's like, what's their real incentive of not competing? They still got Maxey. Like you get, if you get Embiid, you're getting a young star back in the deal. You got Maxey and whoever that young star is. Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, but
Mikal is good enough to build around.
Yeah, Mikal is Mikal.
Mikal is Mikal.
Maxey will
I think honestly he could be.
Maxey. Okay, I'll hot take this right now. Maxey will never be Mikal, and never even be close to that caliber of player. But
no, Mikal's different for sure. I agree with that. Mikal's a different player. Like I feel like he's really overlooked. Like especially coming off the Suns too. Like he was arguably one of like the best players on that team during the playoffs run.
Yeah, he's very valuable.
But Maxey's game has to be a little more horizontal for him to be a number one, like to build around, like vertically, like just attacking the rim, being fast. He's really good at that, but he has to slow it down a little bit, make reads and all of that.
He's not a point guard. He's not a point guard.
It's like I somewhat agree, but he could develop. That's what I'm saying. Like he's not a point guard.
Yeah,
the horizontal part of the game. Yeah, but players develop though. But Harden to the Heat though,
that's a lot to develop, bro.
Yeah. I feel like it could honestly end up working. I mean, I'll get like 2 scenarios. He goes and he doesn't go. what, like, both scenarios, how do you think the Heat do this season? Like, with and without him. I say without him, I feel like they always look a little bit iffy during the regular season, but they'll definitely find a way to pull through, like, in the playoffs. I don't know if I feel like everyone said this last year. I don't think there's like any way they could make it to the finals again this year with all the competition and just with not really gaining anything else this year, unless they do gain something by the trade deadline. I feel like that finals window could end up being closed this year. But if they get Harden, I feel like there is a good chance that they could end up making it if he somehow performs magically in the playoffs for once.
If they get Harden, it's like a boomer bust type of thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Harden will either prolong or end the finals window. Like he's just he's too much of a main character for him to be like the third best player on the team.
I don't like the way he's been talking, bro. The way he's been talking, it seems like he's over the winning and he's just trying to score and be old James Harden.
Yeah.
And if he gets traded to the Heat with that attitude, I don't even think it's even a possibility it works.
Yeah, then he's the type of player, he ends stuff so ugly that a team that's already like very low with assets, he's gonna make it even lower, and that's when the window will definitely close. But at the same time, the upside of him is like Harden is Harden, and you win a ring.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. If he was to join the Heat, I would try and be what's the word?
Optimistic?
Like, that's the exact word. Optimistic about it, and be like, maybe Harden was like when Jimmy Butler came in, he was just so intact on winning that it rubbed off his teammates the wrong way. Like that's the maybe, but that's the only way. That's the only way, bro. That's literally the only way. After that, I don't. Man, he goes to strip clubs in the middle of the playoffs, man. I don't trust that.
I mean, Draymond be potting during playoffs, bro. He be potting on playoff losses. So, and they just won 2022. So,
right.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe he'll have like a good luck strip club he got to go to before he drops 40 in Game 7.
Could happen. I mean,
Harden in Game 7 is the issue. No, closing games. Him in the rest of the playoffs though, he's not even that bad. Maybe Jimmy Butler could just close it out. Like Harden.
Yeah, the games where Embiid was out last year, he was looking crazy good in the playoffs. Like when Embiid was out, he had like a 40-point game. No,
he had 2 back-to-back 40s, but he also had like a 2 for 11 game. Harden has his lows and his highs. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like he's so boomer bust.
Even with Harden, do y'all beat the Bucks? I'm really thinking about it because, like, bro, if anybody has the ability to offensively match whatever Jimmy's gonna do, is Dame, bro. It's Dame. Like, I'm not even a huge
Dame's
like playoff Dame guy, but when he's hot in the playoffs, bro, he's unstoppable.
I don't even like Dame that much, but I agree with that. Like, I mean, you got Drew Holiday on Harden. You matching up Butler and Dame, or who do you got on Dame? Bam and Giannis are gonna have to go at it. If they match up, I'm talking. Or no, he's not even on the team. I'm thinking of the Celtics. God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be probably K mid on Butler or Giannis on Butler, K mid on Harden, and Brook on Bam or Bobby Portis, whoever they decide to play that at that point in time.
I feel like
the Heat could offensively take it, but it's going to be the same situation going on defense. I don't know if it's just going to be an offensive shootout. Realistically, I think
the Bucks and Heat have. I think the Bucks, if everyone is playing how they're supposed to play, is the better offensive team. They got Malik Beasley there, who's a 40-point 3-point shooter, can create his own shot. You got Giannis, he's Giannis. You got Dame, he's Dame. If Brook is shooting and not being playoff Brook, like how we're asking Harden to not be playoff Harden, then the Bucks have the better team. Just straight up. And then if K-Mid is decent, he's like a 17 to 20 point per game scorer. Not expecting much from him. He's 33, I think, coming off a crazy knee injury. Not expecting much, but that team is the better offensive team. It's really going to come down to defense on that. Who's stopping who?
Yeah.
Who's getting the stop for that night? Who's shutting down who for the night?
I think that series mainly comes down to coaching. And
Yeah.
then
We know who
because
got coaching.
they got to get Brook Lopez off the court, in my opinion. Bobby Portis is a very good matchup. Like, well, Brook Lopez against most teams. I'm just talking from the Heat perspective. Brook Lopez against other teams where they run big men is a good option, but Brook Lopez against the Miami Heat isn't the best. He's not that great of a rebounder, so like he lets Bam and Giannis be the top rebounders in the game. Bobby Portis, on the other hand, when he's in the game, he's grabbing boards. He's being big in the paint, and he doesn't just fall off from three in the playoffs. And he also is quick enough to keep up with the smaller lineup. Brook Lopez, he got back issues. He's older. He's so slow that he gets ran off the court, and
I
they
think
go
it'd be
away
okay,
from
though,
Giannis.
because the Heat like to run a lot of their offense inside of the painted area.
Yeah.
So I think that is where Brook is the best. So I don't think it's too crazy to say. It's not like you're picking up Bam at the perimeter, and it's not like you're worrying about a long two from Bam. He's shooting that from the free throw line at the most. Like, you'll be okay with Brook if he's playing good. If he's shooting 25% from the three, 26% like he does in some playoff series, then you probably will have to sit him because the defense just isn't worth it at that point.
Yeah, I think Bam matches up pretty good against Brook. Honestly, like I feel like he could get some stop, but I feel like overall Bam's just gonna end up taking that most matches.
No, Bam takes Giannis most matches. It's so funny because Butler takes Brook Lopez because Brook Lopez is so quick. Brook Lopez is so slow that Butler, if he grabs the rebound over Brook, who is a poor rebounder, they just on to the run. They on to the races.
Yeah.
And it's nothing you could do. Butler's gonna run the offense as he grabs the rebound. Bam's gonna run with Giannis. Giannis is faster than Bam, of course, but Brook is so slow. It's like a bunch of 4-on-5s. That's why in the fourth quarter against the Heat, they kept having meltdowns. They got to put Giannis at center. Giannis is too good for him to not be at center. Like, you could just run pick and roll with Giannis and abuse that little ass Bam, but they just don't go to it for some reason.
It's not for no reason. It's because in the playoffs, Brook is such a bad shooter. You are forced to keep him inside where he can be productive offensively. If he's able to shoot the ball, you can run Giannis offensively as a 5. You can put him in those pick and roll situations. You can give him those isolations. You cannot do that if Brook's not shooting. That's why they look so good in the regular season, because Brook is out there. He can pop out whenever he needs to.
He does pop off randomly a lot in the regular season. Like, he got many games where he just shoots crazy good from 3, and that just disappears.
Yeah, it really will come down to coaching. I'm very interested to see what the Bucks look like this year with a new coach. Budenholzer never made adjustments, and so I feel like expecting the same old Bucks team, for better or for worse, is not a good idea for any team going against them.
Yeah, no, not at all. Especially with the new additions and everything. Like, there's no chance the Bucks are going to look the same as they did the past couple of years, in my opinion.